is a short definitive description of meditative quietude called shamatha in Sanskrit and China in Tibet. What is the definition of shamatha?
Is it single-pointed focus, concentration?
Something extraordinary.
That single-pointed concentration.
It's not.
Bliss.
Viewed with the exceptional bliss of practicing
Nice.
due to. I'll give you that.
Meditating upon
the inevitable right.
meditating upon the analysis. Meditating on this single object.
Deep single-pointed concentration
Deep.
on objects.
Nice.
Right? So shamatha is deep single-pointed concentration on an object, which brings about exceptional bliss of practices, which is what? What is exceptional bliss of practices?
Vipassana?
No, it's you get your mind and the body become very subtle and very blissful. Just simply put, your mind and your body is filled with bliss as a result of meditating. Okay, and then, what is the definitive description, short of special insight, also called vipassana in Sanskrit, Kwakwan in Tibetan?
Upon the analysis of the object.
So, we have shamatha. I'll give you the definition. It's the wisdom which is full of the exceptional bliss of practiced ease by power of the analysis of its object, founded upon quietude, or shamatha. So you have shamatha, right? And you use shamatha to analyze the object of wisdom, meaning you analyze the emptiness of something. Right? You analyze the object, and you analyze the emptiness of the object using shamatha, and you gain that wisdom, along with the exceptional bliss of practice. Okay? You get both things right. Make sense? Okay. There are 5 obstacles to a meditative state of mind. Obviously, we are on constantly perfection of concentration. The letter to a friend, Arya Nagarjuna, mentions 5 obstacles to a meditative state of mind.
Missing something or someone.
Restless desire, missing a person or thing. 2.
Dullness or agitation. Dullness or drowsiness.
3.
Agitation.
Got that one.
Is doubt in it? Doubt. Unresolved doubts.
Unresolved
Unresolved doubts. One before that was
Feelings of malice. You have ill will towards others. You won't be able to meditate. Or, if you're attracted to the objects of the senses, you'll be thinking about them all the time, and you won't be meditating.
So true.
Okay. So we have restless desire, attraction to the objects of the senses, malice, drowsiness or dullness, unresolved doubts. As we get into the perfection of concentration, Master Shantideva says, he describes the joys of living in the forest solitude, and he urges us to spend our time there in woods and gentle walks and thoughts of helping others, developing the wish for enlightenment. So what method? So he basically says, look, go separate yourself from everything and be alone in a quiet, beautiful place and contemplate helping others, right? Getting enlightenment help others. And then he recommends something to meditate on the wish for enlightenment. What is the method he suggests to train ourselves to?
said the exchanging self.
To treat ourselves and others exactly the same. And then how does he deal with the objection that we can never learn to treat ourselves and others exactly the same, since we don't feel their pain and they don't feel our pain?
The arm and the leg is part of the body, and
Caring for our future selves, the self and the no.
we learn to think of ourselves as a certain way. We learn to think of ourselves a certain way. I think of me as this stuff because I've been trained to do that since birth. In fact, this stuff is actually my parents. It's their cells, and their genetic mix, and two of their cells coming together and creating all these cells. And I'm calling it me, and it's not me, it's them.
Well, you feed it. You feed it.
I feed it, or are they feeding it? I don't know, right? Are they feeding it, or am I feeding
Kept
it?
it warm, I don't know.
Anyway, his point is simply that we conceive of ourselves the way we do because of habits, habituation. We can readily habituate ourselves to think about ourselves and define ourselves differently. And the fact, he goes on to say, the fact that we say, I am this and I am only this is just flatly incorrect. And that the way in which we define who we are and what we are is just false. And it's just not true. And in fact, we need to exchange ourselves with others and see others as us. Not different from us, but as us. And that's the method to actually be able to treat others well. Which is to say that they are me. They're the same as me, I'm them, and he goes through these exercises of putting our mind in their minds and things like that. And then Gyaltsen gives two logical proofs from the root text to prove the compassion, love, and reason. Somebody remember looking up?
Release pain.
Yeah. He says, look.
It's just the fact that it's pain.
Yeah.
Should stop it.
No. He says, look. Consider the pain of every being, because this is logical proof, logical proof which we'll get to in course 13. Consider the pain of every living being. It's right that I must stop it, because it's pain. It's like, for example, the pain that I feel myself. He says simply the fact that the pain is there, it's the same pain that I feel, is the reason I have to stop pain. The simple fact that they have pain, like I have pain, means that I have to stop it. And the second is consider the things that bring happiness to other living beings. So one is removing pain and one is bringing happiness, right? Classic fashion. Consider the things that bring happiness to other living beings. It's right that I work to bring them about, because each person is a living being. And it's just like I want to work to bring happiness to myself. If I work to bring happiness to myself, I have to work to bring happiness to them. Because it's happiness. And if anyone's going to have happiness, they need to have happiness just as I have happiness. Write and memorize the two verses in which Master Shantideva identifies the source of all pain and happiness in the world. Probably don't know that.
All the pain in the world comes from thinking about myself and all the happiness. Something comes from thinking of others.
Paraphrasing, yeah. So it says, the total amount, it's very profound, famous one. The total amount of happiness that exists in the world has come from wanting to make others happy. The total amount of suffering that exists in the world has come from wanting to make yourself happy. What need is there for many words? The children of the world work for their own sake. The able Buddhas do their labor for the sake of others. Come and see the difference. Then Master Shantideva says the greatest single demon in the world is what?
Cherishing ourselves.
Yes, the habit of cherishing ourselves instead of others. And he uses the metaphor of what?
Holding and burning
Yes,
coal.
holding a burning coal in your hand, and refusing to let go. It's burning you, and it's hurting you, and it's destroying you, and you refuse to drop it and let go of it. You refuse to change. You refuse to recognize it for what it is. You need somehow some benefit to continue to it. And then Master Shantideva says that we should practice three attitudes towards those who are higher than us, lower than us, or the same as us, right? Remember this practice we have of putting our mind and them being us, looking at them from the opposite perspective. Talk about. So if I'm over there looking at this person, right, what would I normally do? If they're lower than me, what would I normally do?
Pride.
Yeah, I have some pride towards them, some arrogance, some pride towards them. Right? And then if they're the same as me, competitiveness, and if they're superior, jealousy. Right? So we should switch places
No.
and see that.
Oh.
Right? It's the switching places, right? Think of yourself across from the person you're looking at.
Right.
You're trading places, right? So if I'm there with Levy and John is over there looking at this body going like, I want to bring it down. Right? He's better than me, I want to bring him down. Or if he's less than me, and what a loser, and maybe I'll be nice to him just to, I'm better than him. Right? Or whatever it might be. So how does it feel to be treated that way? How does when you're seeing yourself treated that way by you, essentially?
Being the object of my own mental affliction.
Yeah, super so. He picks those three mental afflictions. He picks those three approaches, but yes.
This is true.
And then people come along and they say, look, Mr. Shantideva, you say this, but
Wait,
I don't buy
jealous,
it. How do you feel towards that?
I'm not sure if that's jealous or pride.
No, it is right.
Or
It's
competitive.
sarcasm.
Either.
So then people come along and they say, look, Mr. Shantideva, you say this, and I've tried it, it doesn't work. You teach these things, you say treat other people well, do all these different, use all these different techniques. And I've tried it and nothing has happened. I haven't gotten any result. My life is still the same old lousy life that always has been. And so what does Master Shantideva say?
It work.
It says impossible. He said if you had actually practiced it, or practiced it at all, or practiced it consistently, or practiced it properly, you wouldn't have the lousy suffering life you have right now. It's impossible. It's quite blunt though. And then Master Shantideva finally says, look, this body that we care for, what's the inevitable result of spending so much time and energy caring for, serving this body so dearly?
Super sensitive and tend.
Before it dies. You don't see it die, but before it dies, what happens if you treat it that way?
Oversensitive.
Never be satisfied.
Yes, it's sensitized, it's whiny, it's spoiled, right? It's like, I can tell you from my cookie experience, right? You don't want the lesser cookies, it's like, ooh, I found a better cafe with better cookies. They're better than the other cafe. And those are good for a while, but then there's even a better cafe. And then you get, then you can't get those cookies. And it's like, oh, these other cookies I used to eat aren't very good anymore. I don't like these cookies. I can't find cookies anywhere that I like. This is really unfortunate, I just cookies. So, and it's making light of it. He says it's if you have money to care for yourself closely, then you start to have things. And you start to be really disappointed, really upset when you don't have things. It's a rare person who can have fine things and good things and then drop down. Really talking about dropping down. If you make a lot of money, if you have good living situation, good circumstances, and you make yourself have a nice life and a cushy life and lots of beautiful clothes and lots of beautiful food, it's very hard to leave it behind. Not only do we spend our life, energy, and resources to get those things and to provide those things to the body, but then minor problems become big issues for us. When little things go wrong, then it becomes a big issue for us. You start to expect and demand and need those fine things and niceties. So that's what you have to do. Just get on with life. Do what you need to do your spiritual practice, focus on what's important, which is developing wisdom and compassion. And stop putting all your time and life energy into pampering your body and giving the body nice things. And provide for it, obviously, in an appropriate, moderate way, and put most of your time and energy and resources into becoming a pure holy being. Any questions? Anything else anyone would like to cover or talk about?
So we'll do our final exam on our own. Well, wait a minute.
Yes.
On our own. Does everyone have the grading grid?
No.
No. Okay. I have a copy of the grading grid I can send to you, so you record in all your grades and your final exam once that comes back graded. So if you want to do it on your own, you can email me the final exam. I'll grade, send you back said document, and then you can fill with the grading grid, and you can send it. that good? Yeah.
So do you submit them to ACI?
You can email it to
certificate
Share.
stuff?
and then they'll send you the.
Not saying I will do it, I just what's the
That's what we've been doing is just sending it to them, each individual.
So,
Does that work?
so you will email me.
Yes,
after you take this.
after you take the exam.
Could we read the answers? Is that what it is?
Oh, no, it's different,
No.
sorry, I thought you
You put like what you get for your homework quizzes, and
And
once you're done, you submit
If
it
you
to
want a
Sarah,
certificate.
and then you get a
Just if you want a
certificate.
certificate.
Nothing to do with the final.
Okay, nice. So, we're spending a year on this book, and, we don't spend a year on any of the other major texts in the monastery. And, the reason is that if you practice this, you can reach enlightenment. Attaining bodhicitta is a profound spiritual realization and attainment. And if you practice these things seriously, you'll have an amazing life and an amazing life. And if you practice them half seriously, you still have a really good life. But if you really apply yourself to this, you'll have amazing results and amazing life. So you're going to have the next month off. Start at the beginning, somewhere at the beginning of March for the next course. Presumably arrange that and work it out. Feels like we will. So you have to use this time now to really apply yourself to really practice. Holy Rinpoche, people would always say, "Oh, should I move to this apartment? Should I move to that apartment? Should I take this job? Should I take that job? What should I do about my boyfriend or my girlfriend or my job?" And the answer is always the same. It's like, I'm not giving you personal advice. I've taught you material. It's the only thing that's going to affect your life and change your life. Go and put these teachings into practice in every aspect of your life. I've taught you the stuff. You have the information. Go do it. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody can fix it for you. Nobody can make it happen for you. There's nothing else to tell you other than these teachings. If you'd like a reminder about how to apply the teachings or some particular thing, fine. But all that's left now is to actually practice and apply. And if you have a month, then we will have 5 hours more a week than you had before. The travel time to and from class and the homeworks and the readings and the class time, use that 5 hours a week for your practice and for your meditation. Don't waste it on stupid stuff and mundane stuff. Take the time when you're not in class and use it to actually do Bodhisattva. And do meaningful meditation and do the practices Master Shantideva has prescribed. Spend that time walking around, seeing everyone else as you, treating everyone else as you. And see everyone else as a holy being, and treat everyone else as a holy being. And see what happens, see how it feels. Pay attention to your mind as you're doing it. Pay attention to the feeling in your mind as you're doing it. Be aware and be conscious of the impact it's having upon your mind as you're doing this. And I think you'll be very surprised about how powerful it is, and how profound the effect is. If you actually pay attention and actually do it, your life will radically change. So there's nothing to do other than put it in practice. These classes are pointless and useless if we're not putting them in practice. So please.
Sashi Bhagir Metal Rigavichim Devali Sangye Shindu Devagi Yokunanda Srimati Pasho Viyangu Anamandala Kamyatayani Vyadi Gyoku Sunam Yashe Satsokshin Sunam Yashe Zuwe Rampaguni Topazyo.
See the holy being which we found becomes small and better. restoring to the heart, blessing the mind. Show their blessings to bring to the Chido. Through this life, filling the entire body and joy and living, blessing every aspect of this life. And the power of the things that you've done here, when you quickly realize ultimate for the Chido, and you quickly all suffering and being in all beings, all realms, instantaneously come to guidance. Thank you for teaching. Thank you for coming, or I couldn't teach. It's a pleasure. Much rather be doing this than watching TV movies.